didn't come from a white paper. Didn't show up in a classroom. It came when everything I trusted split. And under the fracture, I found fire. They said it was just noise, but I knew that tone. Not hope, not fear, but something grown. A rhythm carved in silent stone. A code that beat like blood and bone. No flag, no throne, no calls to war. Just math that couldn't lie no more. And in that line I saw the breach, the place belief and truth could meet. Not hope, not fear, but something true. A spark the old world never knew. Not built in trust, but proof instead. A ledger written by the dead. Not hope, not fear, but something true. A spark the old world never knew. Not built in trust, but proof instead.
A ledger real world never do.
Not hope, not fear, but something said.
Spark the old world never knew.
Not built in trust, but proof instead.
Ledger written by the dead.
Not hope, not fear, but something true.
Spark the old world never knew.
Not built in trust, but proof instead.
No prophets came, no temples burned, just bits and blocks where value turned. I didn't find this in a book. It found me when I dared to look.
Not hope, not fear, but something true.
A spark the old world never knew.
Built in trust, but proof instead.
A ledger written by the dead.
Hope, not fear, but something true.
A spark the old world never knew.
Built in trust, but proof instead.
A ledger written by the dead.
Everybody loves saying it.
Permissionless, trustless, censorship resistant. Cool slogans for Twitter bios, right? But tell me, what happens when the empire says, that wallet, illegal, that code, treason, that chain, blacklisted? You still permissionless then? Or you just permissionless? Until it costs you something. See, I don't play make-believe in freedom if you're not ready to act when it matters. You were never free. You were released.
They cheer for tech when the price is high, but never ask what leaves behind. You stack your sats, they stack your file, and flag your chain when it's out of style. It's cute till the heat gets real, then the crowd goes quiet. Truth gets sealed. You think they'll guard, but they can't command. They don't fear code, they fear your hands. You say it's free, but is it yours when they disagree? You say you're free, but would you act if it cost a fee? They let you play when it's all pretend, but pull the plug when it might have been. No gods, no kings, no guarantee, just proof you meant it when it wasn't free. You think they'll let go for fun? They built this world with a loaded gun. Wars for oil, coup for cash. You think they won't burn code to ash? Your tech ain't sacred, your wallet's tagged. If it grows too big, it gets flagged. This ain't theory, it's empire's grip. They run this world off ownership. You can trade your coins, flip your bags, stake your claims in casino land. But the real ones know this ain't about profit, it's about control. It's about who gets to say what value is and who gets to say you're allowed to say it. You say it's free, but is it yours when they disagree? You say you're free, but would you act if it cost a fee? They let you play when it's all pretend, but pull the plug when it might have been. No gods, no kings, no guarantee, just proof you meant it when it wasn't free.
They say it won't get banned, not because it can't be, but because it isn't a threat. Yeah.
What?
Welcome to the table, no cards, just charts. Where a man in a suit sells freedom in parts. Says scarcity's truth, but he ain't touched the chain. It's all PR campaigns and leverage gain. Whispers digital gold while he buys the dip. Never mind fees high enough to sink a ship. You ever send $100, try 50 in fees, but hey, number go up, right? That's all they believe.
It's the casino market, flash no flame, playing monetary dress up in a dead base game.
They say fixed supply, like that's new or rare. Tulips were scarce too, nobody cared.
NFTs, gold bugs, rock collections with pride, but scarcity don't matter if the men won't ride.
Yeah, Bitcoin strategic reserve sounds elite, but gold sat in vaults while fiat ran the street. Hardest money ever till they stopped to talk. When that shiny rock couldn't stop the clock. You preach revolution with your stock on NASDAQ, but truth don't live with regulators. NABAT, this was peer-to-peer, not peer to Wall Street. Now the suits hold a mic and call it complete.
Every bubble's built on the same hotel. This can't be printed, this time will prevail. But the market don't care what you think you hold. If no one uses it, it's just digital gold. Not cash, not coins, not chains in motion. Just hype pumped up with Wall Street devotion.
So let them trade narratives while I trade blocks. Let them toast the scarcity while I watch clocks. Cause when the hype fades and the crowd goes home, we'll see who still believes in trustless alone.
It's gonna hold far from ever. It's man about what a fearless face though. Kings that beg.
You wear a crown made of tweets, feeding suits lines you don't believe. Said it's sovereign, self-soaked in math. But why you pitching it like preacher in collapse? They call you prophet, you act like pawn. Smiling clips, but the mask ain't on. Say it's freedom, but you beg for faith. Bags so heavy, you can't escape. Post words like scripture, rehearse the verse. Bend it enough so you can claim you're well versed. Don't trade it, don't spend it, just praise the freeze. But call it global money between ad reads. What's a king to a chain that don't care? What's truth to a throne built on air? You sold all, now you sell relief. But hope without cost is just belief.
Not all kings beg, but the ones that shout the loudest usually do. If it was real, it wouldn't need you.
Gold with a mic, mouth full of rocks, preaching scarcity like it's vox pop, it's rare. Like cults in alliance, all faith, no use, just stylized science. You meant belief, clip by clip, but the market don't buy what don't fit. Strategic reserve, that's a cute myth. Gold said the same before they dipped. You parade pain in a tailored suit, saying they don't get it while you mute the truth. You ain't scaling trust, just selling fear. Dressed it up, then dumped it on retail ears. The ledger don't care about legacy spin. You can brand yourself king, still losing the end. You wrote the playbook but forgot the play. Now the crowd's gone quiet, what's left to say?
They only scream when it stops working, only chant when no one's listening, only sell when no one's buying. And you're not leading a movement, you're stuck in a marketing loop.
I seen monarchs peddle moonlight, called delay divine. Say truth takes time, but time don't owe belief a crown. And patience don't make math profound. The strongest chains move weight in silence. Yours creaks under every alliance. Talk decentral, but you orbit cloud, spinning proof like it's faith in drought. How can a king still need applause? How can the best money need your cause? If it wins, it wins. You wouldn't need spin, but every throne here got paper thin skin.
Not all kings beg, but the ones who stay on stage can't stand alone. And that speaks louder than their tone.
If it really was the truth, you wouldn't need to sell it.
If it really was the future, it wouldn't need your endorsement. So go ahead, shout it again. That crown's getting heavy, yeah.
Build cathedrals around a torch and call it fireproof. Never check for smoke. Just handed out sermons and hoped that it'd hold. Said they had the signal, but just like the sound. Talked having cycles like gospel, never looked down. Saw fire in the code, but worshiped the price. Now they tithing the candles in Celsius light. I study the cracks beneath all the charts. They praise the cathedral, I question the art. Built a shrine around Satoshi, stopped reading his words. Chanted store of value out silence and verbs. Whispered Gresham coded hate, but never made trade. Never carried the weight of the promises they made. Used to think they saw the whole map, but they just memorized paths in a cul-de-sac. Rap prophecy and market caps. Burned books for white papers and started baptizing apps. Chanted heaven like hymns, but ain't felt the weight. Coded dead men on chains, they ain't helped create. Lit candles for nodes, called it the sacred space. But if the gas spiked once, they ghost the place. I saw oracles begging for oracle feeds. Talking freedom with seed phrases tied to their LLCs. Selling trust wrapped in keys. Preaching sovereignty with price alerts and cold feet. They ain't hold the weight, they held receipts. Built a shrine on a tweet and called it belief. They ain't code, they just quote, ain't resist, just promote. They mouthed the words, didn't hear the echo. Bought the ticket, missed the message in the window. Said hard money, then ran when it hardened. And preached like martyrs, but sold out like marketers. I ain't bitter, just different. Didn't log in for permission while they genuflect for price ticks. I built friction. Did the math, read the fork, the bass, listen. Now I spit in the cathedral and the reverb glistens. They warned the kings, but begged for crowns. Spoken forks, but bit their tongues down. Said don't trust, verified and sold trust in disguise. Oracles now, but couldn't hear their own lies. Not mad, just tired, they forgot what they lit. So I held the match and walked out with it. Not mad, just tired, they forgot what they lit. So I held the match and walked out with it. Not mad, just tired, they forgot what they lit. So I held the match and walked out with it. Not mad, just tired, they forgot what they lit. So I held the match and walked out with it.
I don't know, I don't know.
Everyone wants it to scale, but not for the mission, just for their bags. They chant decentralization while praying for price. Truth has a cost, and the cost keeps rising. You talk like kings, but beg like peasants. Thrones on testnets, flexed and left it. Quoting ghosts in the glow of the ledger. Preach code, but you never met it. Truth when it's trending, nukes when it's tested. Said freedom meant fences. Whispers of lightning, but blinking it glitches. Feet floors like museum rope. Touch for show, not meant for folks. It's sacred but sold, a sermon in code. You never read it, just wore the robe. Now chains choke under chosen weight. Too sound to bend, too slow to save.
You called the cure. Tooted like gospel. But you never used it. You just sold the story.
They hold coins like rosaries, but pray for liquidity. Exit plans in ghost towns, if they all move, they crash instantly. 1% can breathe, rest just wait in line with dreams. Scarcity's a feature, but you weaponize belief. Same patterns, new robes, same breed, new code. You sell the myth like gospel truth, but lie in price and call it proof. Not every limit's a flaw, but every flaw's a mirror. You looked in and saw a prophet, I saw fear getting clearer.
Took the costs.
Yeah. And you made sure I can't afford it.
can't stretch. It holds weight, not wishes, not built for the crowd, just the witness. Each block is truth, not throughput, that's the trade you keep misreading. A ledger isn't love, it don't care if you need it. If you care. You say make it scale like scales are right, but freedom ain't free, it pays and bites. You want infinite lanes with finite steel, then call it fiat, cause that ain't real. You built your dreams on exponential lies, but math don't blink and code don't cry. There's no inflation, lever here, just a block size and a limit near.
It works too well, that's why it breaks you. No room for favors, no back doors through. A system with rules that won't relax is a system too sharp for those playing max.
It's not broken, it's complete, but you mistook finality for defeat. It ends where it must, not where you demand. A truth this dense ain't made for every hand. It's scaled enough to survive, not enough to please. And that's the limit.
Didn't fork for fame, didn't launch with smoke. Came through quiet like breath behind a holy quote. Kept the blocks clean while they cloud chase flame. I just watch Marcus bleed for a name. Proof in silence, truth and strain. They paid for narrative, I stayed for chain. No preacher coin, no backroom fun, just ledger and light and the run not done. Spoke less, settled more while they held hands with regulators at the door. They built a story, then forgot the source. Said it's still Bitcoin, but filed the form. I ain't bitter, just tuned to a cleaner tone. White noise kills kings in the money zone. Chain ain't broke if another one listens, and the signal's too sharp to stay in one system. So I moved, when it moved and the proof ain't hype. It's what the block space used. Same signal, new frequency. It didn't end, it just kept speaking. I watched them build cathedrals out of vapor and code, sell visions with no spine, just volume and boldface. They called it scaling, but rerouted trust through vaults, sold freedom through custodians, then printed mission statements like scripture. They said this time it's different, but I've read this chapter. Gold already tried this. It ends in seizure. I didn't come to flex, didn't come to shill. I came to pull weeds so something real could grow. I've broken myself to learn every tool I hold. I don't lie to feel better. I burn illusions to make space for truth. They said Bitcoin was a one-time fire, a spark the world could never strike again. But they forgot. Bitcoin was never a monument. It was motion. It was truth without permission. And truth repeats when demand returns. It was always designed to happen again. They mocked the second signal. A silver echo of gold, never meant to shine alone. But they missed the limit, didn't see the crowding, didn't feel the rising toll. In every other market, when the price gets too high, we substitute. It's obvious. But in this space, they worship scarcity. I held this truth when no one else did. 8 years of silence. Laughed at, dismissed. Not a single voice beside me. But I kept building anyway. And then it happened. And it's happening again. I was right. Alone.